What's up, y'all? So today I'm going to show you how to lift the rear end on a 2004 to 2007 Infiniti G35 sedan. All right, here we go. It's my 2004 Infiniti G35 sedan. I already kind of got started here on the rear end. So this bucket right here, all I've done here is take off the wheel and then remove this bolt that holds the bucket on. You got to put your jack underneath the bucket here while you remove this bolt. Once the bolt's out, let the jack down nice and slow so that your spring here doesn't go flying out or anything. So all I've done to lift this so far is buy one of these coil spring spacers. I got this from AutoZone. It's a 1-inch spacer, and you just set it down in your bucket like so. You just need to make sure you see how there's a notch there for your coil spring to sit, since it's an uneven surface. You got to make sure you put this in right to where that sits down in the notch. And then just line your coil spring back up in the same orientation, like so. So what I just showed you, you can do that if you want to just get about 1 inch of lift. If you want to get a little bit more, what I'm doing here is this thing here goes on the top of the spring. So I took this out, and then I got myself some horse stall mats. Basically what I did was just cut the center of that horse mat out to where we could fit it over this high point, like so. Then at this point, I'm actually gonna go through and trace the outline of this to shim it down to closer to the actual size of the spacer there. Final product. Just got that horse mat cut to fit. It's not the prettiest thing. Doesn't really have to be. It should give you an extra 3/4 of an inch there. Making these with my Sawzall here. And I actually used a drill with a paddle bit to get the center. I just went all the way around the line I made on the center with the drill and paddle bit, and then touched it up with the Sawzall. The outside doesn't have to be perfect. As you see, you can see the Sharpie line I made. It's better to be a little bit wide than a little bit narrow. So this is definitely the most complex part of the operation here. Once you reinstall everything, you need to get your jack here under your bucket, but leave it very low. You're gonna wanna get this piece in first, feed the top of your spring up onto it, and then you're gonna push down on this bucket till it almost touches the ground down here, so you can feed the bottom part of the spring back into here where it's supposed to rest, and then slowly jack it up as you adjust the spring to make sure it sits where you want it to. Once you get it sitting in there, as you jack it up little by little, you need to put your flathead in here and kind of finagle the spacer under the coil spring to where it follows it until there's enough tension on the bucket here and between the spring and the chassis to actually hold this coil in place where you want it. And then you just finish jacking it up while you line this up to the bolt location. Final product, guys. We got this bolt for the bucket refastened. Our spring's down in this hole where it's supposed to be sitting. And we got our horse mat up top. So we'll check it out, see how much of a lift it really gave us. We started out at 7 inches of clearance in the rear. After doing my custom little lift kit here, we're looking at, oh, what do you think? about 10 inches of clearance. So, gave us 3 inches of lift. So after driving, it kind of settled a little bit. We're sitting at about 9 inches now. So overall, 2 inches of lift. Still pretty good. By the way, we ended up doing this lift on our G35 because it's an all-wheel drive vehicle. I ended up buying it for $500, and she fucking rips, bud. So we're kind of converting it to an off-road rig, mostly for the sand dunes, so I can get my wife and baby out there. So yeah, stay tuned, more videos to come.